Friends, I want to talk about more dynamics concerning the Riqq and the sounds of the Riqq. So please bear with me. This one detail is very critical. It's about the use of the Zills. I want to show first what I'm talking about. So this, see, people can do this on the Zills. That's in the context of traditional or modern playing. It's a mechanic that you can do. But the idea behind it, again, noticing through the experience and seeing people playing, the use of it within Arabic music and especially in the slower beats. I came to see some people, they've gotten kind of used to it. It's like a force of habit. They always insert it in their playing. Like, okay, so this is a very nice ornament when you know how to ornament it for the beat. But when you're playing actually with a song or so, you really have to be mindful about the consistency of the sounds and the rolls, and the balance between the sounds, between the zills and the skin. So there's something about it, holding the instrument in a way you can manipulate it, control it, and make it more silent so you can have. So when we apply this thing like in the wahda tawila or kabira or anywhere, just being mindful of it that it does not concern the playing immediately. Like when you play wahda or any other beat that has the zills in it and in the slow manner like this. This is more important than putting the thing. This is more important than. And it takes some also getting used to. I honestly don't play it myself within the play itself because I see what's more important than that in the space and filling the space to still make the balance and the sound of the instrument consistent. You understand? Especially with the Riqq. The Riqq, I always say, it's one of the noisiest instruments to play if you don't play it correctly because it makes so much jiggling sound. So the control of it is really very important and it reflects in a better way on the music, as I always say. So again, just being mindful of this idea. That simple playing but with effectiveness, and it also depends on how much you mute from the back, how jingly do you want it to be. That's very important, So again, when you try these dynamics and see what works and see what's correct, and then you can add things like. This is more consistent with the music itself than just this one, because there's a pause happening. See? Versus. Just to show you the movement. Then you can even roll. If you have enough discipline, you can make a whole roll like. You can put it in different contexts. So it's a simple technique, but yes, it takes you many places. And again, with the traditional music, you will see how this technique is the way to produce the sound for the music, You still can use it however you want, but just be mindful of the music itself and how it shouldn't hinder the flow of the beat. And you will see that when you play, actually, you start seeing the strain of that on the flow. You have to be really precise about putting dum tak 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 dum tak tak versus dum tak tak dum tak. You see what I mean? Okay, so that's one topic. There's the other one I also noticed the other day about using the qarshi in the beat. This the qarshi, this is instrument. I mean move, and the placement of it. One thing of the modern age, I noticed that they gotten used to this one in particular. So this is good. This is one of those couple of other ones. There are not so many of them, but it'd be nice to know all of them and know where the placement of the qarshi is. So this is one. Okay, and the other one is when that one starts immediately. You see how it goes? This one has the silence in the beginning, the other one. So between those two, it's up to you where to use them and how to use them with the music and follow this rolling sound that comes out of it. And also being able to play the simpler version also without any rolling sound, no qarsh. And the other idea also crossing with two fingers, like this. See the point? Boom. Boom. See, you're resembling the qarshi very slow this way. With the fingers, with the two hands. So you can resemble that. And also gives you more flexibility for being able to do a continuous roll. See? So this is exercise and discipline is really very good to know. And then when you put the qarsh, okay, so those couple of topics I thought of sharing with you, and I hope you do experiment with these things. And if you want to tell me about your opinion, what do you notice? Does this make sense? Does this reflect on your ability to play at ease with the music? I care to know about these things so we can keep up with the discussion. And thank you again. Friends, part of the practice of memorizing beats and having more knowledge about the beats, I always encourage people to look into Eastern European combinations of beats like kopanitsas, 11s, even their styles of 7s and 9s, how fast they go, and in comparison to our music, the Middle Eastern music. And I always find it, even as a practice, just to be able to put combinations together, 3s, 2s, 4s, and things like that, end up with different counts. And some of them you'll see they're repeated in, again, traditional music of the Balkans and Macedonia and Eastern Europe in general. This, for me personally, it really reflected on my knowledge, and I appreciate that a lot. It added to my understanding. First, I understand the slower beats, the Arabic combinations, and I see how they work. And then when I got introduced to the music from the Balkans, I also got inspired by seeing how the same principle, but on a high speed, like this, Arabic goes by with 2s and 3s and 4s. Same thing goes with the Balkan beats. So just from that perspective, try to see how you can incorporate this into your playing and to your understanding. I was just thinking of practicing of the kopanitsa. you know, it's usually made out of 4 and 7 if you're gonna cut it this way, or 7 and 4. And that's another thing, like if you can juggle sometimes, just get more comfortable with one groove, see how it works, and then see if you can juggle it around, like doing things like this. Like, so the capanita will be 4, and then and then the 7. Even the basic practice also gives you more anchor and subtlety, and makes you memorize the main groove, you know, even if you play it with one hand. And then you can practice different speeds. And if you notice how it also serves you becoming more flexible. So those combinations of 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3, or your 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. This is another major thing you can always incorporate in your playing. Just this flexibility. And then now you can see it if you add more of the ones, the twos, or the more of the threes, how you can make patterns. You see the point? It's just a matter of 1 and 2 and 1 and 3. See, 1 2 1 2 3, 1 2 1 2 3. So the same principle again, you can see it in the bigger picture of making those combinations of copanizas. Let's see what else we can do, like the 15, there's a 15 beat we do. So this is considered 8 in the beginning. 1 2 3 4, but it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, or 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So again, just being able to count it and imagine it on the beat, because just remember one thing, that in those traditions they don't use this drum for their drumming, so it's about either the tapan or other percussion instruments. So your thing is being able to translate those beats into this drum. How can you make the sound out of it, and also knowing how to count it. If you're from a more Middle Eastern background, how can you lay your feel of that over this thing? So if you again 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. See, it's a bit hard to count it that fast, but you get the idea behind it. And there are dancing pieces to it. So just take it as a practice and exercise to expand your horizon, to have different cycles of rhythm. You can try something like 13. There's that combination 13. Imagine how you can divide it yourself, right? Like what 13, what can it divide to? At least 3 parts, you know? So you can come up with different combinations. And again, you'll see whatever you come up with, you will see it's also matched in the music when you look into the details of European or Eastern European music. Let's demonstrate with the 13 beat. Imagine it's divided 9 and 4, it becomes 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, 1 2 3 4. Okay, that's the 13 combination. What else? I thought of 2 other combinations myself. You can do 2 5, 1 6 and 2 5s. Okay, and then another combination. It's 4, 7, and 5, and that should amount to 16. So. Four at the beginning, then 7, and then 5. combinations you can come up with. Just keep practicing them back and forth on different speeds. Get the flexibility that you can get out of it. Whatever finger you use, it's okay. If you're using Arabic style, if you're using the Turkish thing, same thing. Think of things like the Georgiana, the beat, the 10/8 Georgiana. If you take it from the context of being a beat, it's, what is it? It's 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3, right? 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. I'm sorry. 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. You see the point? 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. So take it as a practice. Alright, so that's for practicing combinations of 2s and 3s within those rhythm patterns.